We all hear how important it is to invest for retirement, but how you invest is just as, if not more important. Knowing the order to invest helps you grow your wealth efficiently, leaving you with more money to enjoy in the future. To make the whole process easier, we're going to organize it into 7 key levels you'll need to progress through. I have it broken down by levels because in some of them, you're going to have a few options to choose from based on your specific situation. I also have 2 bonus action items that didn't necessarily fit into these 7 levels perfectly, since they can be done at pretty much any point. In level 1, we have 2 different things to focus on at the same time. Before we even get into the investing levels, let's get one thing straight. You cannot build wealth if your money keeps ghosting you every month, like that one girl I went on a date with last week. That is where a spending plan comes in. I don't like to consider this a budget, but more like a high-level plan for your money to finally behave like it's supposed to. After working with hundreds of people over the years, I've found it most helpful to break it down into 4 broad categories: fixed expenses, fun spending or discretionary spending, investing, and savings. You can either create your own spreadsheet to drop the numbers into, write it all down on a piece of paper for my friends still living in the 1800s, or get exclusive access to a free copy of my spending review spreadsheet down in the description below, where I have everything formatted for you. Once you have your income split among these 4 buckets, we can focus on the investing and savings buckets to figure out how to allocate the money across the remaining levels that we're going to cover in the rest of this video. The reason this is so important is because it gives your money direction. Once you've got this in place, you're not just winging it anymore. You're running your finances like a future millionaire instead of a broke college kid who counts ramen noodles as a food group and thinks minimum payment is a life hack. The second thing to focus on in level 1 is to build up a minimum amount in an emergency fund. Now, I kind of like to look at this smaller amount as an initial layer of protection, kind of like a condom for your bank account. It's not foolproof, but it'll prevent most accidents from screwing you over. It might not be enough to cover a lower probability big emergency expense, but it's going to be enough to give you a buffer against the higher probability lower cost emergencies. Like if your city is running a buy one ticket get towed free promotion, so you unexpectedly owe $100 to get it out of the impound. Or you clog your toilet and now your house is auditioning to be a guest star on Titanic, so you need to pay a plumber $300 to fix it. Bare minimum, I'd like to see people at $1,000, but $1,500 to $2,000 or even 1 month's worth of expenses is a more ideal amount. Now you can get away with a lower initial emergency fund if you have fewer responsibilities. Shout out to all my single people. You're not single, you're independently owned and operated. Okay, you've got your money under control and a little safety buffer, so there's 2 things that we need to focus on in level 2. First, it's time to deal with the financial equivalent of my past toxic relationship: high interest debt. Think of this stuff like trying to fill a bucket with water while it's got a hole in the bottom of it. You can't build wealth effectively if your money is constantly leaking out faster than it's growing. For example, imagine you owe $10,000 on a credit card at 20% interest. In 1 year, you're paying $2,000 in interest. If you had invested that same $10,000 at 7%, you would earn $700, a $1,300 overall loss. Paying off high interest debt gives you a guaranteed return equal to that interest rate. It's like instantly earning 20% on your money without any risk. Let it stick around for multiple years, and that 20% interest rate compounds in the wrong direction. But here's the key: if you're still continuing to swipe the credit card or taking out new high interest debt, you're undoing all of the progress that you're trying to make. This is why level 1 is so important. With the spending plan in place, you've already given every dollar a purpose. The 3 popular debt payoff strategies to choose from are the avalanche method, snowball method, or you can do a hybrid of both like I did when I was paying off my $82,000 of bad debt. Oh, and I swear, if I catch any of you trying to pay off your low interest mortgage faster at this level, then I'm gonna have you arrested and thrown in jail. Do not even think about it. The second thing to focus on in level 2 is to invest in continued education to skill up. If you think about it, your skills are like assets. They can appreciate in value over time, but only if you invest in them. Unlike a stock or mutual fund, the return on investment in yourself is directly tied to your effort and strategy with unlimited upside. Sometimes the best way to increase your value is to expand your toolkit. This could mean learning a completely new skill set that's in high demand. These are the kinds of skills that can open up opportunities in new roles or even industries. Other times, the smartest investment is doubling down on what you are already good at. If you are in sales, for instance, becoming an expert in negotiation could help you close bigger deals and even earn bigger commissions. Think of it this way: new skills are like adding tools to your belt, while refining existing ones is like upgrading the tools that you already have. Now, both approaches increase your earning power and make you harder to replace. Imagine you spend, say, $1,000 on a course or certification. Maybe it's learning how to code, taking a few improv classes, or a professional certification that's specific to your industry. That investment helps you land a promotion or negotiate a raise worth $5,000 per year. Your year one return on investment is 400%, which is 5 times your investment in the first year alone. After 5 years, you've earned an additional $25,000 from that single skill upgrade. It's an investment that continues paying out year after year. Now imagine you do this consistently, stacking skills that increase your value over time. The return multiplies exponentially. Before we move on to level 3, help support my little dog Molly as well as this channel by hitting that like button. At level 3, it's time to start growing your money, which is where you should be investing up to your employer's match. By not taking advantage of this, you're basically leaving part of your compensation on the table for no reason. It would be like your employer saying that they're going to pay you a $105,000 salary, and you saying, nah, I'm good with only being paid $100,000. The reason it's so powerful is because first, for every dollar you contribute up to the match, your employer doubles it. That's an instant 100% return with zero risk. Second, you're not just getting the match, you're also investing the free money, meaning that your contributions and the match grow together over time. Let's say you earn $50,000 per year and your employer matches 100% of the first 5% of your salary. That's $2,500 of free money if you contribute $2,500 yourself. At an average 7% annual return, after 20 years, that 1 year $5,000 contribution grows to over $19,000 even if you never add another dime. And if you contribute $2,500 every year with the match, you're looking at $471,000 in 30 years. As you climb this financial ladder, level 4 focuses on 2 different areas. The first is maxing out a health savings account. This is a secret weapon when it comes to building wealth for a few different reasons. First is the triple tax advantage. Contributions are tax deductible. Growth within the account is tax-free, and withdrawals for qualified medical expenses are tax-free as well. No other account in any other level offers a triple tax savings. The second reason is because of the long-term investment potential. Many people don't realize that you can invest your HSA funds, allowing them to grow like any other retirement account. And if you have so much money in the account that you cannot spend all of it on medical expenses during your lifetime, then at age 65, you're able to withdraw money from the account for non-medical expenses. The only catch is that you'll have to pay taxes on the money, so it basically turns into a pre-tax retirement account. If you want to learn about a health savings account in more detail, then I'll link my video on it at the top right of this screen as well as down in the description below. By now, you should have a small emergency fund from level 1. But for the second part of level 4, let's start working towards something a little bit stronger. A fully funded emergency fund typically covers anywhere from 3 to 12 months of living expenses depending on personal preference. Think of this like 3 condoms for your bank account. It acts as a bigger moat to add a stronger layer of protection for your finances, which ensures that you're prepared for any unexpected job loss, medical bills, or large emergencies. I like to take a little bit of a flexible approach to building a fully funded emergency fund, and there are 3 main ways that you can go about it. The first option would be to fully fund it before moving on to the next level. If your goal is to have, say, 6 months of expenses saved, this option has you focus entirely on reaching that amount before moving on to other financial goals. This approach works best if having a solid financial safety net quickly gives you peace of mind, and it's usually more for risk-averse type people. The second option is where you fund half of your fully funded target amount, then build gradually. In this approach, you focus all of your efforts on saving half of your goal up front, like 3 months of expenses if your full target is 6 months. Once you reach that halfway point, you reduce your monthly emergency fund contributions to a smaller amount while shifting focus to level 5 with the remaining amount of money. What I like about this is it's a good balance between building security and keeping momentum with other investing priorities. The third option is where you save as you go. Here, you simply put aside a set amount every single month in the background while working through the remaining levels that we're going to talk about at the same time. This is ideal for people who want to keep moving forward without feeling like they're stuck on just one goal. Here at level 5, you have 3 different options to choose from: a Roth IRA, a traditional pre-tax IRA, and a taxable brokerage account. We'll talk about how a taxable brokerage account fits into this level, but let's focus on the Roth versus traditional side of things first. It's all going to come down to the tax bracket you're in today when you make contributions versus the tax bracket you're in at the time of withdrawing the money. For example, if you're in the 22% tax bracket today, but will be in the 24% tax bracket in retirement, then a Roth IRA makes the most sense. If you're in the 24% tax bracket today, but plan on being in the 22% tax bracket in retirement, then a traditional IRA makes more sense. And if you are in the same tax bracket today as you are in retirement, then it's a wash, so it won't matter which one you put money into. The general rule of thumb is that if you're in the lowest 2 tax brackets today, then you can feel fairly safe going with a Roth IRA. When you are in the 22 and 24% tax brackets, it's a gray area since it could go either way, so you're going to need to run the numbers on your own. In the 32% plus brackets, a traditional generally makes more sense, but once again, it depends on your situation. If you want to learn more about a Roth IRA, then I'll have my video linked at the top of the screen and down in the description below. 2 things that I need to mention when it comes to all of this tax bracket stuff. First, keep in mind that when you make pre-tax contributions to an employer-sponsored retirement plan, such as a 401k, 403b, and 457, that does reduce your modified adjusted gross income today, which could put you in one of the lower tax brackets today. Double check with your accountant on how this impacts your situation just to be safe. Second, none of us know what the exact tax brackets are going to be in the future. I think most of us would assume that they're going to increase, but we do not know by how much. Now, for those of us not retiring for another 20 plus years, this can be a little frustrating because anything can happen with that much time ahead of us. One way to think about it is if you're currently in, say, the 22% tax bracket and expect to withdraw a similar amount in retirement adjusted for today's dollars, and you believe tax rates will increase, then choosing a Roth IRA could be a smart way to hedge your bets. To be honest, you just gotta run the numbers every single year as the tax environment changes and make your best guess. And/or, of course, talk to your accountant. Either way, having options in the types of pre- and post-tax retirement accounts that you can withdraw from in retirement is extremely helpful because it provides greater control and flexibility, which enables you to optimize your taxes based on your situation at that point in time. One of the best ways that I've found to project all of this out in retirement while you're still in the accumulation phase of investing is by plugging your current and future numbers into software like Bolden. This is the retirement planning software that I've been using for a few years, and it's perfect for do-it-yourself investors. Bolden lets you track your savings, optimize your investments, and map out your retirement goals to stay on track. If you want to give it a try and support the channel at the same time, I've included a link in the description to open a free or paid account. After figuring out what you are doing with your Roth or traditional IRA, this is the part of level 5 where you decide if it makes sense to contribute money to a taxable brokerage account. As you can see on screen, this is one of the least tax-efficient investment accounts out there, but the one thing it has going for it is the flexibility, since you can withdraw money at any age without any restriction. Whether or not you should contribute to this account comes down to 2 things. Number 1, are you on track with saving in other tax-efficient retirement accounts to where you're confident about hitting your long-term retirement goals when you're 60 and older? If not, focus on maxing out those before putting money into a taxable brokerage account. And number 2, do you need the flexibility? If you're saving for goals outside of retirement, like buying a home, starting a business, business, or retiring early before 59 and a half, this account gives you freedom to access your money whenever you need it. So while it's not the most tax-friendly option, it's a great tool for balancing long-term growth with short-term flexibility depending on your priorities. By level 6, you've already made significant progress, but there are two things that we need to take care of, and you probably aren't expecting one of them. First, it's time to return to contributing to your employer-sponsored retirement plan beyond the match that you took care of back in level 2. Not only does this really get your retirement savings moving even more since there's a higher contribution limit, but you'll also enjoy the potential tax savings. Lower taxable income now for traditional pre-tax contributions, or tax-free withdrawals later for Roth contributions. If you are trying to figure out whether to contribute to pre- or post-tax retirement accounts, then refer back to the talk that we had in level 5. Level 6 is also where you should consider enjoying some of that hard work and effort that you've put in by upgrading your lifestyle. One thing that always annoyed me about traditional personal finance advice is that you're supposed to save and save and save, all for when you're 60 and older. But what about the first 60 years of your life? Why the hell can't you enjoy some of that money during the healthiest years of your life? That's why I like to put a very intentional place in this order to invest in improving your current lifestyle. But here's the thing, just because you can spend more doesn't mean you need to go overboard. Lifestyle upgrades should enhance your life, not derail your progress. It's about finding the sweet spot of enjoying the present without putting your future at risk. Here are some general rules around upgrading your lifestyle without going overboard. Spend on the things that genuinely improve your quality of life. Maybe it's flying first class, buying a nicer car, upgrading your living space, or treating yourself to more experiences. Just make sure that you're spending intentionally, not out of habit or to keep up with other people. Decide on a percentage of your income that you'll allocate towards lifestyle upgrades. For example, if you're earning more, allocate 10 to 20% of your income or raises towards fun, while putting the rest into savings or investments. Before splurging, ask yourself, am I actually on track with my retirement goals? As I said before, you can run the numbers through retirement planning software like Bolden to figure that out. If you're behind, consider scaling back on the lifestyle upgrades until you catch up. The goal is balance. Enjoy your money now, but not at the expense of your future. Level 7 is the time where you can consider paying off low interest debt. Paying off this sort of debt isn't always a clear-cut decision. It's more of a financial preference than a necessity at this stage. If your low-interest debt has a rate of, say, 4% and you're earning 7% in the market, keeping the debt while investing the extra money might make more sense since you're gaining 3%. For people behind on saving for retirement, they cannot afford to allocate more money to pay off low interest debt. However, if you're ahead or on pace with saving for retirement and paying it off early does give you peace of mind, then it could make sense. It's more of an emotional decision than a financial decision at this point. Let's talk about 2 additional opportunities that are more flexible and can technically slot in anywhere after level 3 depending on your goals and situation. The first is investing in physical real estate. I have enough friends who successfully invest in that asset class to where I could make a case to start setting money aside to buy a property anywhere in level 4 through level 7. Heck, one of my friends is so good at it that he invests very little into traditional retirement accounts because he can get a better return on investment by putting his money into physical real estate. It's definitely not for everyone since it can be a lot of work, which is why I consider it more of a bonus option. The second bonus investment can also go anywhere after level 3, and that's investing money into a business you start. When done right, it's a way to take control of your income and build something with unlimited growth potential. A few years ago, me and 3 of my buddies came up with a business idea when we were getting drunk in a bar watching the Cleveland Browns get absolutely crushed by the Buffalo Bills. Now, it wasn't much in the grand scheme of things, but we invested a lot of time and some of our personal money to get it started. That business now does millions and millions of dollars in sales every single year. It doesn't always work out, but I don't see any issue with throwing a little bit of money at a good idea just to see what happens. If you want to know what I do with my money, then you can watch this video to your left next. Hit that like button before you go. Done.